Chapter 4 Battle in the Rutchit Mountains. So Shaman and Twinkle started to fight the soldiers. They took them out one by one until their strongest fighter was left, when they teamed up and knocked him around the area. But then he started to get up. Master Shaman and Twinkle kicked him in the face, punched him in the nether worlds, then of course basically uppercutted him in the jaw until he was knocked out on the ground. When that was over, the soldiers ran for it, leaving their strongest where he laid. Master Shaman asked him again. Master Shaman said, "Why did you help me?" Twinkle said, "Why did you let your Rutchit student go on a journey alone? At least I wouldn't have given him a Rutchit jet for a gift." Master Shaman said, "Don't change the subject, Twinkle. Why did you help me?" Twinkle said, "Muku is a horrible traitor to the Rutchit warriors. He and Ricardo have to be stopped." Master Shaman said, "Then join me. We can stop Muku and Ricardo at all costs." Twinkle said, "It's too late for me." Master Shaman said, "It's not too late to make a change. Twinkle, you proved to me you have what it takes. Please help me and the other warriors take out Ricardo's armies." Twinkle said, "What about your Rutchit student? He at least could have helped you defeat Ricardo by now." Master Shaman said, "He needs guidance in his life before he can go toe-to-toe with Ricardo. Besides, he isn't ready to fight Ricardo yet." Twinkle said, "Then you failed your Rutchit student." Master Shaman said, "You look like you have more guidance and training than Rutchit." Twinkle thought about it, then and started to run off. Master Shaman said, "Twinkle, please, stay and help us. You're the only one with the best training for a Rutchit warrior." Then Twinkle put on his jetpack and flew off while Shaman watched. Master Shaman said, "Twinkle, wait." That's when Master Shaman watched as Twinkle flew off on his jetpack and watched him depart and wondered what he was going to do now. Maya said, "So that's Twinkle, the Rutchit twin brother. They'll pay for having my brother killed." Later that night, Master Shaman wondered if Rutchit was okay. He wondered if Twinkle would be a great ally in the future, but it seemed like it would be a while. Maya went back and told Muku the details. Maya said, "It seems Rutchit has a twin brother." Ricardo said, "So, Twinkle is Rutchit's twin. This is horrible." Maya said, "It seems Rutchit is in disguise." Ricardo said, "Have some fighter jets attack him." So basically, Rutchit was heading out into space on his journey through the universe when basically he was attacked by fighter jets. Rutchit said, "What is going on here?" Rutchit dodged as many as he could until basically he had to put his Rutchit jet on autopilot while manning the Rutchit jet's blasters. Maya was alerted to a spacecraft and the fact it was heading in her direction. So basically, Rutchit had enough and took out a bunch of fighter jets with the blasters. That's when he saw a nearby mountain and decided to land on it. That's when Maya knew she had to destroy the Rutchit. Rutchit saw a Rutchit mountain, and with his telescope, it pointed out a cave. He knew he had to inspect the Rutchit mountain's cave to see what was inside. That's when Maya began an attack plan on Rutchit by saying to Trevor to attack Rutchit and make sure to keep him from the cave at all times. Twinkle started to look into the crystal ball, and he saw Maya planning an attack. Twinkle said, "Crystal ball, what is Maya doing?" Cliff said, "Maya is planning to destroy the Rutchit." Twinkle said, "We'll see about that," and he left. Meanwhile, Rutchit was heading up Rutchit Mountain, and his journey was interrupted by Trevor when he started to attack him. But Rutchit started to defend himself in the mountains when the Rutchit witch Maya saw Rutchit was losing the battle and wanted to make sure he didn't recover. So she cast a spell on him, but it hit Trevor, leaving him frozen. Meanwhile, Twinkle headed to Maya's castle to confront her. When he arrived, he started heading up the castle to the Rutchit witch's tower. That's when Twinkle finally came face to face with the witch. Maya said, "Why do you appear in my castle? You're going to pay for trespassing." So Maya started to blast Twinkle with blasts to try to stun him, but he dodged every one of them. That's when he had enough and decided once and for all to defeat her. She took out her Rutchit staff. Maya said, "Let's go." And then Twinkle pulled out his saber. Twinkle said, "Okay, Maya, I'm going to make sure it's your final battle with me." Maya said, "Don't count on it, Rutchit." Twinkle said, "That's Twinkle, witch." Maya said, "Really? Why are you called Twinkle Star?" Twinkle said, "It was my father's intention." Maya said, "Yes, you're Rutchit's long-lost twin." Oh, did I hit a nerve? He was stunned at Maya's comment. But then Twinkle and Maya started to fight. They went at it with all their strength, and basically after hours of dueling, Maya, she took him into the 3D dimension. So Maya fought Twinkle on and on. Twinkle said, "There's got to be a weakness." That's when Twinkle looked and finally realized there was a weakness in the dimension. Twinkle said, "Wait, the dimension has a weakness within Maya." That's when Twinkle had enough and took her out with his saber, piercing her in the heart, sending him back into the real world again, killing her on sight. Or he thought. Maya said, "Screw you, Rutchit. I'll be back." That's when Maya decided to retreat into the woods where the Rutchit stone was and touched it, healing her in the process and giving her better strength over her enemies. That's when Trevor attacked Rutchit again, and after a long battle, that is when Rutchit started running up the mountain. Then he smacked Rutchit across the mountain into the other side, but Trevor realized what he'd done and tried to stop the Rutchit from making it into the mountain's cave. That's when Rutchit attacked back with his powers. Rutchit said, "Why don't you just leave me alone?" Trevor said, "Because I'm here to destroy you." Trevor said, "So, Trevor, you're that Rutchit whiz that resurrected Frederick the Crazy into Ricardo? You ignorant fool." And Trevor said, "That's correct, and destruction is my game." Rutchit said, "Well, Trevor, you're really pissing me off." That's when Rutchit let Trevor have it and attacked Trevor. But Trevor had plans to fool the Rutchit. That's when Trevor used his atomic rock attack on Rutchit, causing avalanches all around the mountain. That he ran up the mountain while Trevor did a spin attack, missing Rutchit on sight. Because Rutchit dodged it before he had a way to weaken Rutchit. But as the avalanches buried most of the mountains, Trevor, who was not a fan of heights, thought he shouldn't have started that avalanche. That's when Rutchit had the advantage over Trevor by knocking him off the mountain by charging up his Rutchit blast. Trevor said, "Hey dude, let's talk." Rutchit said, "Talk this," and Rutchit knocked Trevor off the mountain with his Rutchit blast. Rutchit was getting tired, so a lion beast came to the rescue as he was freezing cold. Sasquatch said, "Oh my, we need to get you back into the cave." So the lion beast carried him back to the cave. That's when Trevor was furious with Twinkle. Trevor said, "You should be destroyed for interfering." Twinkle said, "Even though you were frozen by Maya and I helped you by releasing you? Really?" Trevor said, "Because of what you did. Ricardo's going to find out." That's when Trevor made Twinkle look in the crystal ball. Twinkle saw that she survived and used the Rutchit stone to heal herself. Twinkle said, "You're going to regret working for Ricardo." Trevor said, "Fool, you think you can destroy me? Let's go." So Trevor began attacking Twinkle around Maya's lair, but Twinkle started to dodge every attack. That's when Trevor started to fight him, but it would do nothing to harm Twinkle. That's when Twinkle used his spinning kick attack on Trevor, knocking him on the ground. That's when Trevor used a hypnosis attack to hypnotize Twinkle, but dodged it as he used it on a mirror and bounced back and hit Trevor. And this made it the perfect time for Twinkle to run for the exit, but Twinkle had to finish off Trevor. Twinkle said, "You shouldn't have messed with me, fool." Then Twinkle destroyed Trevor with the Rutchit blast. So Twinkle fled the scene. With Trevor gone, Sasquatch found out what happened and was shocked that he was history. So the lion beast that saved Rutchit was of course Sasquatch, and was training in the Rutchit Mountains. But Sasquatch wondered if this Rutchit would awake. Then Sasquatch checked out Rutchit's bag, grabbing out his Rutchit sword and wondering, what is it? That's when Rutchit started to wake up and wondered why this lion creature was doing with the Rutchit sword in hand. Rutchit said, "What are you doing with my Rutchit sword?" Twinkle said, "Is this what I'm holding on to? That's awesome." Rutchit said, "How did you?" Sasquatch said, "I'm sorry. Where are my manners? My name is..." Rutchit said, "Get away from my sword." Sasquatch said, "You know a thank you would be in order since I saved your life." Rutchit said, "Oh, well, you better give that back to me now." Sasquatch said, "Give it back or what?" Rutchit used his powers to grab it out of his hands, charging at Sasquatch and placing it near his throat. Sasquatch said, "Well, someone woke up on the wrong side of the mountain this morning." Rutchit said, "Does it look like morning in here?" Sasquatch said, "A light is shining through that crack. Besides, you can please let me down." Rutchit said, "Don't get any closer or take advantage." Sasquatch said, "Hey dude, my name is Sasquatch. I don't want to hurt you at all unless you're an enemy." Rutchit said, "Hi, my name is Rutchit. Pleased to meet you. Meet you, Bigfoot the Rutchit warrior." Sasquatch said, "Really? You're lucky I didn't attack you." And that's when Rutchit started to call him Bigfoot once again. Sasquatch said, "I'm Sasquatch, not Bigfoot." Rutchit said, "Okay, Yeti, where's your cousins?" Sasquatch said, "Stop it or else." Rutchit said, "Okay, Sassy the traveling clown." Sasquatch said, "Knock it off." Rutchit said, "Okay, Santa Claus." Sasquatch said, "Okay, you're dead, Rutchit." Rutchit taking his Rutchit sword out and placing it near Sasquatch's throat again. Sasquatch said, What's with you in placing swords to people's throats? Rutchit said, okay, fine. I'm sorry. Can you please take me through the caves? I need to make sure that Rutchit's jet is okay. Sasquatch said, why would I do that? She said, fine, I'll go myself. So Rutchit headed into the dark maze of a cave and basically had to grab a torch to figure out where to go. Rutchit, at least this will help me through this dark cave. That's when Rutchit stumbled onto some booby traps and had to dodge 2 wooden planks, then a bunch of poison darts. Then he had to go through a weird rock maze that had giant spiders in it. So Sasquatch wondered if letting Rutchit go by himself was a bad idea. Sasquatch said, crap, better go help him. So Rutchit started to fight these giant spiders, and basically he was taking them out one by one until the king started to attack Rutchit with his stinger. That's when Sasquatch threw a spear into the giant king that it fell off the edge to its death. Rutchit said, about time you helped me out. Sasquatch said, so you needed my help, obviously. Rutchit said, really? I could have took him out myself if you hadn't interfered. Sasquatch said, fine, I'll help you, but don't expect me to be nice. So they went through the caves, navigating through every part until they found a door. They opened it and showed a challenge. They saw a bunch of statues. They saw a Pegasus statue, a lady statue, and a fox statue. And when they gazed upon them, they felt a rumbling. Then 3 vampire bat birds attacked, and Rutchit got smacked around and kicked until him and Sasquatch teamed up to deal with the first one by having Sasquatch distract them long enough to charge up his Rutchit blast to blow it to bits. One of them attacked Rutchit. Sasquatch said, Rutchit, look out! Rutchit looked back, and the other one was behind him, and Rutchit ducked. The vampire bat bird missed. Rutchit destroyed the other one, and then Rutchit took his Rutchit sword and destroyed the last vampire bat bird with his serpent slash. But as soon as they thought they destroyed all the vampire bat birds, they found another rumbling. The leader of the vampire bat birds started attacking Sasquatch and knocking him into a hole. Rutchit said, who are you? Triflame said, I'm Triflame, the leader of the vampire bat birds, and you're no match for me. Rutchit said, yo, ugly, come get me. Then Triflame did the soul kick at Rutchit, but Rutchit dodged it in time. Triflame said, oh, you have the nerve to call me that? When your friend is no easy catch. Sasquatch said, watch it, fool. That's when Triflame blasted Rutchit with a soul blast. Rutchit dodged it. So Triflame went after Sasquatch. Triflame said, now it's time to meet your end, beast. Rutchit said, time this. Then Rutchit destroyed Triflame with the Rutchit sword's serpent slash. Rutchit said, goodbye, you demon. Serpent slash. Triflame said, what? How could this be? You won't pay for this. Rutchit! We're gonna get you! Then Triflame exploded. Rutchit came up and grabbed Sasquatch as he was about to fall. Rutchit said, Sasquatch, are you okay? Sasquatch said, did you say my name? Rutchit said, no. Sasquatch said, yes, you did. Rutchit said, okay, I did, but don't push it. Sasquatch said, Rutchit, you that dude that pulled that sword out of the stone. Rutchit said, yes, what about it? Sasquatch said, well, let's find a way out of this cave. That is when they went on their way out, since they couldn't go back the other way since Triflame took out the entrance back to the caves. On their way through the remainder of the caves, and then they saw the light at the end of the cave. So then they got out of the caves, and Sasquatch asked if they were going to be walking, as it was going to be a long journey on foot, but Rutchit had a surprise for Sasquatch. Rutchit all of a sudden started to get a message from Master Shaman saying that Ricardo was after a special item on a planet named Toxica in a nearby galaxy. Sasquatch said, well, that's awesome. Now we got to figure out how we're supposed to get there. Rutchit said, check this out. Rutchit jet, flight mode. Let's head out. Sasquatch said, nice digs. That's when they headed to Toxica. Titana sent a transmission to Ricardo. Titana said, 2 Rutchites are heading to Toxica. Ricardo said, my soldiers head to Toxica and follow so-called heroes so they don't make it out of that planet alive. And Titana took a ride to the planet with her Rutchite Amazons as well. Our so-called heroes were heading to Toxica when they were under attack. Sasquatch said, why is there an all-out attack on us? Rutchit said, fighter jets from Ricardo's army. Where did they come from? Sasquatch said, you mean he has soldiers at his disposal? That's just messed. Rutchit said, man the blasters. Sasquatch, it's going to be a bumpy ride. So Sasquatch started to blast every single one of the fighter jets with help from Rutchit piloting the Rutchite jet. Sasquatch said, hey, have you ever flown a Rutchite jet? Rutchit said, just let me be the pilot and you the gunman. That's when Sasquatch got one, then another one, and another, until there was at least 4 of them, trailing them by a foot. So Sasquatch basically had enough and shot at them. Sasquatch counted the ships by going, 1 at my 12 o'clock, boom. 2 at my 3 o'clock, boom. 3 at my 6 o'clock, boom. And last but not least, 4 at my 9 o'clock, boom. Rutchit said, we did it. Here it is, Toxia. Sasquatch said, about time we made it. So one day this girl was minding her business when she saw these soldiers looking for a gem. Her name was Anne Nicole Rutchit. Anne Nicole didn't know why they would be looking for this random item. So that night, Anne Nicole saw a random stranger. Kids, don't talk to strangers. This random person gave Anne Nicole a sack with a special surprise in it. Anne Nicole was going to open it, but they told her to keep it closed at all times. Anne Nicole asked what it was. The random person, whose name was Madam Vicky. Anne Nicole said, I apologize, I didn't get your name. Madam Vicky said, my apologies, sweetheart. My name is Madam Vicky. If you want to know, okay, I'll tell you, but you must promise me that you will keep it under wraps. Anne Nicole said, I can keep a secret. You can trust me. Madam Vicky said, it is a part of the Rutchit stone called a Rutchit gem. These soldiers have been after it since a warrior called Ricardo ordered for its capture. Anne Nicole said, why would they want it? Madam Vicky said, with the Rutchit gem, they can harness its power to destroy those in their way and gain control of the entire universe. Anne Nicole said, then you can trust me to protect it. Madam Vicky said, I doubt that. Only a true Rutchit can be trusted with this rare gem. The soldiers located the gem to the hut. Ricardo said, go and investigate. They came to the hut and started knocking on the door. Madam Vicky said, who is it? Adam said, it is the armies of Ricardo. Madam Vicky looked at Anne Nicole. Madam Vicky said, were you followed? Anne Nicole said, no, I don't even know why they would be here. Ricardo looked at Madam Vicky's hut. Ricardo said, I know you have something that I want. Madam Vicky said, here, little girl, take this and protect it with your heart. Anne Nicole said, now you trust me? Madam Vicky said, don't start arguing and get out. Ricardo said, the soldiers are going to break down the door. Madam Vicky said, not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. Ricardo said, then you really need to shave, woman. Madam Vicky said, you're the one to talk with all that facial hair. Ricardo got frustrated, so he ordered him to start busting at the door. Madam Vicky said, go through the back door. Anne Nicole said, what about you? Then the soldiers busted the door down. By then, Anne Nicole had left through the back entrance, and Ricardo saw the girl. And ordered the soldiers to follow her. Madam Vicky said, bring destruction to me and those around me. And like that, Madam Vicky sacrificed herself and took out the soldiers around her. Anne Nicole looked back in horror and saw Madam Vicky's hut and knew she had to run for it. Then she saw a soldier and he tried to take her out, but she bended a tree branch back and smacked him with it, knocking him to the ground. Of course, she ran for dear life. So anyways, Rutchit and Sasquatch landed on the planet and they noticed a hut that was in ruins and started to investigate it. When they got near the hut, Rutchit knew something happened there. Sasquatch said, you're not going to believe this. Rutchit said, what's wrong, buddy? Sasquatch said, this was Madam Vicky's hut. Rutchit said, you mean the last known female Rutchit witch doctor is dead? Sasquatch said, what do you think happened? I know that Madam Vicky was on Rutchit a day ago. That's when Rutchit thought long and hard. Rutchit realized what happened. Rutchit said, Sasquatch, I think Ricardo was here earlier and he wanted something of value. And that's when she decided to sacrifice herself to keep them from getting it. Sasquatch said, what did Ricardo want that would be of great value? Rutchit said, something of power that would give Ricardo the advantage. Sasquatch said, we must keep Ricardo from getting it. That's when they heard a girl scream. So Sasquatch and Rutchit headed in the river's direction. Rutchit said, oh, thanks for saving my life on the mountains, but it doesn't mean I'm going to give you a price for doing so. Meanwhile, Anne Nicole came to the cliff and stopped. She faced the ultimate challenge: jump a huge waterfall or fight enemy soldiers, which she didn't know how to defend herself or fight yet. So she jumped the waterfall, of course leaving the bag with the gem in it. So Ricardo's soldiers were about to take the gem. Rutchit and Sasquatch came in to fight them both. Rutchit knocked the bag out of one of the soldiers' hands, and Sasquatch distracted the other one. Sasquatch said, you're the ugliest thing I ever seen. So that one fought Sasquatch, but the other soldiers gave chase to Rutchit. Rutchit and the soldiers started running through a jungle into the battlegrounds. As soon as he saw Rutchit, he started fighting him through the jungle, on top of trees, on branches, and around the battlefield. But as soon as he thought he could trick Rutchit and defeat him, Rutchit came from behind and finished him off with a serpent slash from his Rutchiti sword. And then Rutchit heard Sasquatch's voice. Rutchit said, "Oh no, Sasquatch!" Rutchit ran to save him. The enemy soldier was about to defeat Sasquatch with a spear. Babel said, "Any last words?" Rutchit said, "Sasquatch, duck." That's when Rutchit used the serpent slash on the enemy soldier. Babel said, "No, in the name of Ricardo." And like that, the soldier was destroyed. Rutchit said, "It serves him right." Rutchit picked Sasquatch up. Rutchit said, "Sasquatch, are you all right?" Sasquatch said, "Yes, thanks to you." Rutchit said, "Well, I can't see you die." Sasquatch said, "Well, that's not what you said in the beginning." Rutchit said, "Okay, let's start over." Sasquatch said, "Okay." Rutchit said, "Hi, my name is Rutchit." Sasquatch said, "Hi, my name is Sasquatch." Rutchit said, "Fine, we're even now. Besides, I wouldn't kill you. I understand what you've been through." Sasquatch said, "What do you mean by that?" Rutchit said, "I was there with my master shaman when your village was under attack." Sasquatch said, "It was horrible too." Rutchit said, "Yes." Sasquatch said, "So, you do know what happened to me back then. I heard you used your powers to protect you and your brother Twinkle because you learned your Rutchiti powers at such a young age. But I understand that you was gifted." Rutchit said, "Wait, I had a brother?" Sasquatch said, "A twin." Rutchit said, "Shaman." Sasquatch said, "So, we agree that it's okay, we understand that both of us have to deal with a Rutchiti traitor like Ricardo?" Rutchit said, "Good." Sasquatch said, "So this bag has a special item." Then, of course, Sasquatch looked inside. Sasquatch said, "Rutchit, you won't believe this. This is the item that they were looking for?" Rutchit looked inside and was shocked. Rutchit said, "Oh no, a girl was here trying to protect the Rutchiti gem." But then Rutchit saw a body in the water and gave the bag to Sasquatch. Rutchit said, "Sasquatch, take this gem and meet me on the other side of the planet. I got a girl to save. Bye for now, Sasquatch." "Oh, take the Rutchiti gem with you too." That's when Rutchit jumped in the water and swam after the girl. He swam and swam as hard as he could and kept at it until he got to her location. That's when he grabbed on the branch she was hanging onto and saved her life. Then he took her and started to swim to land. Then he looked and saw the girl was still breathing, so he put her up against a tree and went up the hill. He got to a house on the hill and knocked on the door. So then they answered and asked what he wanted, and he asked them for a towel and a warm blanket, and they followed him down the hill. They saw the girl and asked what happened, and he said that he saw her in the river and swam after her, so they dried her off and put her in a warm blanket to warm up her cold body, and Rutchit placed her near the fire for warmth. He kept watch the whole night to make sure she was okay, and then he started to get tired, so the people noticed him fighting for his life, and they gave him a sleeping bag and warm blanket. Ellie said, "She will be fine. Get some rest." Rutchit said, "Thanks." So Rutchit went to sleep and rested until the next day. Rutchit woke up the next day and started to hunt for food to make breakfast. Then he started to cook when the girl woke up. She realized that someone saved her and peeked to see a Rutchiti cooking some food. Rutchit said, "Oh, you're awake. I'm glad you're okay. My name is Nicholas Manaka, but everybody calls me Rutchit." And Nicole said, "That's an unusual name for Rutchiti." Rutchit said, "What's your name?" And Nicole said, "What's it to you? I don't know you that well." Rutchit said, "Okay, well, I know a girl that basically got attacked for defending a gem from those creeps, Serena Bell." And Nicole said, "She told me I'd be safe with that thing." Rutchit said, "So much for being safe. You're welcome." And Nicole said, "Also, then those two soldiers came out of nowhere and came after me." Rutchit said, "Yeah, little girl. Me and my buddy Sasquatch took them out." And Nicole said, "I guess you won an award." Rutchit said, "And here's another thing. How am I supposed to know who you are unless I know your name?" And Nicole said, "You want to know?" Rutchit said, "Yes." And Nicole said, "My name is Anne Nicole Rutchit." Rutchit was stunned her last name made her a Rutchiti, but he couldn't see her fighting on her own and offered to help her out, but she refused. Rutchit said, "Let's train." And Nicole said, "I don't know a thing about defense training." Rutchit said, "Well, let me teach you then." And Nicole said, "You train me? Nice try, Buster." Rutchit asked her again to train until Rutchit and Anne Nicole started to fight each other. For a while, she was getting better at defending herself until Rutchit gained control and threw her upon a tree, and Anne was in shock. End of chapter 4. If you enjoyed this book, do yourself a favor and click the like button, leave a comment below the screen, and please subscribe to this channel as Rutchit Warriors is here to stay. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll be back with Chapter 5 of Rutchit, The Adventure Begins. Oh, and please click the notification bell for new content coming to this channel, and please support us at Patreon at patreon.com/RutchitWarriors by Rutchit Films. Peace.